Well, today is Saturday, February 21st, 2026, and I've mentioned this Stewart tree before. I really need to stop procrastinating, get this thing into a new pot. This pot is 13.5 inches in diameter, and I've got a selection of different sized, larger pots to work with, but I chose this one, which is about 15 inches, so I think I'm going to go from a 7 to a 10-gallon. I drilled extra holes in the bottom to improve the drainage and even along the edges here, because when I put this tree in this pot, I was still working with standard pots, but I want to enhance the drainage, which is something that avocados really need. I'm going to mix up my soil. This is my usual go-to, Daddy Pete's Plant Pleaser. The main mistake people make planting avocados is using something that's too organic, but ingredients: sandy loam soil with cow manure. So it doesn't mention being mixed with bark fines, which is common with the soil bags you get at the big box stores. So now to begin mixing it up and get that tree out of there. I've started mixing up the soil. I'm going with 3 parts Daddy Pete with an extra part of sand and another of perlite. And I've got some general stone fruit style fertilizer here. It's got magnesium in it and some other trace minerals that I believe work well with avocados. When you mix up avocado soil, it should be loose and crumbly. If it feels gummy and sticky, then it needs more sand or some other medium to help with the drainage. I will admit this is the slowest and somewhat objectionable part, but working without gloves makes it easier to feel where the roots are and just take my time and slowly scrape away the edges of the soil so that the root ball can come out of here without any further damage. Getting deeper into there now, I'm working with a knife to continue loosening the roots away from the edges, and I always work in the same direction, whether with my hand or with a knife, that I keep the roots swirling this way and try to reduce the damage I'm doing. I've got the tree on its side now, and I just need to pay attention to where the branches extend so they don't knock into other objects here. But I'm able to loosen the soil and budge the sides of the pot a little bit. When I use the knife, I can get it far enough down in there that I can see the end and the holes, so I know I'm getting close to the point when I can pull this out. I have said in the past the best way to pull a tree out is to be able to get your fingers underneath the root ball and pull it so that you don't risk doing any damage between the trunk and the root ball. This pot feels like it's gotten pretty loose. I can wiggle this quite well, so I feel safe in pulling on the trunk. And the graft is here, so I'm not going to end up breaking the graft, gradually sliding this out. I've got it out now so we can take a look at the roots. Things appear to be fundamentally healthy, but I do see some darkening in some areas, so this tree would have benefited from a little more aeration, and it will receive that in the new pot. So the soil's ready. I'm going to drop this in there. Some people say that avocados are very fussy and tender trees and they don't like root disturbance. I don't really agree with that. I've always found that I can transplant them without much shock, but I just feel around with my fingers. I don't try to force things, and just be sensible, tease things out, and give the roots a chance to be able to explore their new environment. I still have some of these spent tea grounds that I've been saving for many months, and I will mix that into the organic layers near the top. I've got plenty of avocado leaves here from the past season to use. I'm at the final stage now. I can give this tree some water, and I will move it into a slightly shadier spot near the house and give it patience to acclimate to the new soil that I gave it. I have read that it's possible to get fruit from a pot this size, although I won't count on it. We'll just have to see what the future brings. But generally, I just concluded Stewart is a little too fussy, a little too prone to die back in the cold. and the effort to protect it through the winter is more than I want to do, so I'm not going to put this one in the ground. It will always live in a pot, and I will have to learn the techniques necessary to root prune it and replace the soil, what size pot I can still physically move. This may be right about my limit, actually. So that's it for today's video, and as I go into the spring, I'll find something else to talk about.